What up, fam? This is Will Packer, and you're watching We Sound Crazy. I look at it like this is a story of hustlers and dreamers and entrepreneurs. And Kevin Hart's character is all three, but so is Sam Jackson's character.
Yes.
He's this big gangster out of New York, Frank Moten, who was an actual person. And he is running the Black Mafia, which they call themselves. But he also has a dream. He also is somebody that he's a hustler, he's a dreamer, he's an entrepreneur, and he feels underestimated. This is a story about Black people that felt underestimated in the South in the 70s at a time when Atlanta did not get respect like that. People were like, you ain't New York, you ain't Chicago, LA, you ain't Miami,
right?
You know?
We sound crazy.
Welcome to another week of We Sound Crazy. Your boy Phillionaire is in the building.
Claude Kelly is in the building.
What's up, Chuck Harmony in the building?
So, this is a friend of mine on the show today. I want to make sure I got all the stats.
Yes, you got to.
He's a film producer,
Yes.
Emmy nominee, serial entrepreneur,
There we go.
founder of Will Packer Media, graduate of FAMU,
Come on now.
HBCU
Okay,
love,
okay,
let's go.
all day.
Okay.
A distinguished member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity
Say that with your
Incorporated.
chest, Phil. I feel like
he
you
Alpha.
didn't
Yeah, Alpha. You know what I mean?
Clear your throat before you say that. Like, get it out, brother. Come on.
But today we're talking about, he's the executive producer of Fight Night, the Million Dollar Heist, airing on Peacock right now, streaming as of today.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Will Packer is in the building.
Bam. What up,
It's about
fellas?
time.
What's up, man?
Yo, this is amazing. I like real talk. It's so good to be here. Get to be here with you brothers, the nephew. Like me and Phil, we go back. Me and Phillionaire. Like this is love, and I want you to know that. Like I'm gonna say some things on this podcast that's gonna make you doubt that love. So I wanna start off by saying how much I admire and respect you, brother.
Wow,
I
I
just
appreciate
want to
that.
just let you know I'm proud of you. Wow. I'm here because of you, meaning on this podcast, not like
not in
my
life.
career. You know what I mean? Like let's not get crazy, Phil. But. No, man, I'm proud of you, dog. It's good to be here.
I'm proud
fam.
of you as well, and congratulations on everything. And we've had some many experiences over the years.
You got history.
Some history, some
history.
wild nights. Back, I haven't always been this guy. You know
Well,
what I'm
do
saying?
tell, Phil. I feel like that's something that
we've all lived.
that's you should unpack. I mean, that just can't just drop that on the podcast and keep rolling. Like any nights come into mind in particular?
Give your testimony, Phil.
Right.
Yeah, come on.
I think about a night in Miami that
Oh boy.
Will Packer peer pressured me to drink.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It's just you started off wrong. I'm gonna get you right. So it's crazy. So I came in and Phil showed me a picture of there was an Airbnb that I rented years ago. It was for the Super Bowl in Miami.
Yes.
And it was I went down there as myself, Mekhi Phifer, and a couple other cats that we were with. And we rented this crib because we went down. This was the Super Bowl when the Saints played the Colts in Miami and New Orleans won. So shout out to all the New Orleans people because y'all know that was like a big deal because it was right after Katrina.
Right.
And we had a good time. And it was one of the first trips that me and my now wife took, right? And
Shout out to Heather.
Shout out to Heather P. So anyway, we had a good time. That's not the story I want to tell y'all, though. Okay, so
That's the warm-up.
yeah, well, see, that was a good trip, and it reminded me of another trip to Miami afterwards. So I went with this brother Phil, and this was during ABFF, the American Black Film Festival.
ABFF.
Oh, you remember now?
Yes.
I'm gonna remind you of some other stuff. See, you blacked out so much that night, you didn't even know why you was in
Oh,
Miami.
you blacked out, Phil.
Oh, okay.
Phil has a legendary Uncle Jeff, okay? And Uncle Jeff's birthday is April 10th, I think. 13th, and I'm April 11th.
Okay.
So we have had some really good times where we've like celebrated our birthdays together, and Uncle Jeff is like that dude, right? And so we've gone out, we've kicked it. So this particular ABFF, we are there in Miami at where else? Club Live.
Yeah.
And it's a big crew of us, right? Here's how you know the night was gonna go bad, because it was probably in our crew, I'm gonna say like, 10 people, right? Uncle Jeff ordered 70 bottles, okay? So anytime each person has 7 bottles individually, but what happened was See, Uncle Jeff is like old school, old money rich dude. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of new money Negroes out there.
Right.
And you know, Club Live is all about the new money
money. Yeah,
Negroes.
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yes,
they
sir.
just got that
Miami.
chain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's Miami
It's
like
going
this.
down. Yeah, yeah.
They pulling up in the car, but they don't know how to work the button for the Lamborghini door to go up. It's like, okay, bro, it's a rental. Like we know this ain't your car,
not your
right?
whip.
So Live is the playground for those type of cats, right?
Yeah.
So we there, it's athletes, it's, you know, of course it's actors because ABFF, whatever, you know, whatever, local Miami entrepreneurs we'll call them, right? So you got all this kind of money. Uncle Jeff said, oh, okay, he's seeing what's happening, right? Remember back, and I don't club no more, so I don't know if this still happens, but bottle wars used to be a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
whoever had the most sparklers
Yes.
and the most waitresses and signs and all that, then you win.
He's the man.
It's still a thing.
So Uncle Jeff is in there. Is it really?
Yeah.
Because you still in the club. That's another thing we're gonna unpack because I felt like at this point we should be focusing on our media empires, brother. Why are you still at Live buying bottles?
This is really
This is
intervention
judgment.
for you.
This is judgment. I don't like this.
You didn't know that, did you? You
This is
thought it was an
really
interview for me.
intervention.
Your boys call me. We want to talk to you. Fred. Get out the club, brother. It's time.
It's time.
So we're there, and all the young cats are popping the bottles and showing out. Uncle Jeff said, "Oh, is this how it works?" Bet. He
Yeah.
threw down that black card. Let me tell you something.
Oh, wow.
You ain't gonna lose. You ain't gonna lose with that black card. I don't care how much. I don't care how long you've been trapping all night. I don't care what your new contract is for.
Right.
I don't care about your record deal advance. You ain't gonna win against
Black
Uncle
card
Jeff.
dropped. Okay.
Man, when them bottles kept coming and kept coming, they were out of sparklers.
Yeah.
And we had so many bottles for our crew. And Uncle Jeff was like, nah, come on, keep going. Drink up, let's go, turn up. I was like, oh my God. And I'm trying. You don't want to let him down. He was hosting us, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking to Phil thinking that, oh, well, this is my guy. He has introduced me into this world, right? So he's like, you know how you cry for help? Like when your liver tries to drop out of your body and you give that look and you blink a bunch of times, like, please help me,
Yes,
right?
sir.
It was that. Phil was like, let's go. He was encouraging us.
I'm stuck on the fact that y'all ran out of sprinklers.
Sparklers.
I mean,
They didn't have
sparklers
it
at
closed.
the
Because
club.
once you burn them,
70+
they
bottles.
gone. It was. I'm telling you,
It's over 70 bottles.
True story. I do not drink champagne to this day because of a night with that young man right there.
Wow.
Crazy.
Thank you,
Phil.
Phil.
Phil that
I
you
appreciate
don't
it.
see.
Oh,
We ain't had a
and
night
may
like
you
that,
never
Phil.
see him.
Right.
Phil ain't took y'all out like
He
that.
took me out like that.
Phil, you ain't
Man.
never dropped the black card for us either.
Wow,
man.
But you know, Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist.
That's how you know it's all true.
On Peacock,
He is
streaming
not-
right now.
he is-
Nice pivot.
First 3 episodes. First episode.
All right,
Yes.
no,
Oh, yeah.
let's talk about this. Let's get serious.
All right.
Because this show is bonkers.
So good.
And by bonkers, I mean amazing.
Yo, thank you, fam.
And that's real talk.
I
Like,
appreciate that.
there's a lot to unpack, but
But the show, I mean, the visual aesthetic, the wardrobe, the writing, but the acting,
acting, the
it's-
casting.
It's
Yeah.
like, to me, it's like the all-star lineup. You got Kevin Hart,
Yeah.
Terrence Howard, Don Cheadle,
Yes.
Taraji P. Henson.
Yes.
Well,
You didn't even say Sam Jackson.
Sam
like that's
Jackson.
how the lineup
Yo,
is.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and,
He didn't even
everyone's
look
on
like-
their A game. It's like
Yes.
super high level. The scenes are intense because everyone is just bringing it.
I call it like the Black Avengers because everybody knew they had to bring it.
Right.
And they talked about that behind the scenes. Like I had conversation with each of the individual actors about how, number one, how cool it was to be working with each of them.
Yeah.
Right. So, you think, oh, these are all big actors, global stars, like they're not phased. Nah, like, Sam was like, yo, it's cool to be on the screen with Don again, like putting in work. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
that.
Kev was like, yo, I gotta bring it because I know how Terrence and Taraji are gonna do it. Terrence was like, yo, these young gunners coming for me. I gotta come out and do my thing because there was some young actors on the set too.
Yeah.
'Cause I like to think that we got the legends and then we got also the young cats, right? And so it's a good mix of folks. Everybody wanted to bring it. You're absolutely right. They wanted
It was great. I mean, Chloe's in there. You see
yeah.
Lori
Harvey's playing
Yeah.
Lola Falana.
Yes.
Like, I mean, it's just
Yes.
man,
Yep.
it's a great cast, great supporting cast. But Kevin Hart blew me away.
Yes, he did.
I think it's his best work, man.
I
think
would
Like
say that.
real talk, and obviously, I know Kev. We go back. We're each other's most frequent collaborators. We've worked together. I've worked with him more than any other actors. He's worked with me more than any other producer that he's worked with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've seen his career, and I knew he had it in him. But part of the reason that he brought it the way that he did was because the game was raised, the ceiling was raised, the expectations were very high. An interesting story is the fact that we were both working on different versions of this project at the same time. So I had Fight Night as a dramatic story of this true story of this heist that happens in Georgia after the Muhammad Ali fight.
Yeah.
Thought it was incredible. That and then of course you have all these gangsters that come in from all over the country, and at an underground casino night they get robbed. They all get laid down, right? That is actually the set piece, the center set piece for Uptown Saturday Night. If you guys remember the blaxploitation joint, Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier.
I didn't realize that.
And so, because in that, if you go back and look, boys and girls, there's a casino night and they get robbed and they lose like this lottery ticket and they gotta find the lottery ticket. So Kevin was working on a remake of Uptown Saturday Night. And I was at the same time working on a film version of Fight Night. My film version did not go, right? We did it. We did a script. Phil knows, sometimes in the business things just don't have, it's a long process, right? Yeah. And so that one, it didn't go. And part of the reason we didn't renew the option was because we knew Kevin was working on Uptown. And we felt like these both probably can't exist. Kev's already kind of ahead of us. He's, talking to actors. Well, his actually fell apart as well. So neither project went as a movie. And it was very fortuitous. It was exactly what was supposed to happen. Because then I went and along with Kenny Burns and Jeff Keating and iHeart, we produced a podcast. And so we were able to lay out the narrative and let people see what it would look like in a multi-part series.
And I saw Kenny's cameo, I think episode 2.
Did you see him? Yeah. He's in there. Yeah, Cat Daddy. Shout out Kenny Burns, Cat Daddy. Yeah, absolutely. We didn't have to dress Kenny. That's the thing that you don't understand. This is set in the 70s. Kenny had all that wardrobe in his closet. I think he had the fro and everything. I said, where did that come from? I called Kev. I said, yo, listen to this podcast. I think we got something. We can do it together. He said, yo, I love it. As long as we can do like the dramatic version, right? I don't want to do the comedic version. I want to do the dramatic version. I said, absolutely, let's get it. So he took it very seriously, man. I think it's his best work.
There's a scene, I think it's in the second episode, with him and Terrence Howard and Samuel L. Jackson, where he has to prove himself.
Yeah.
At range.
When
The
lives
range,
are on the line.
The lives are on the line.
There you go. Yep.
And the look on his face.
Yeah.
And the expression, because sometimes just your face tells a story.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo,
you peeped that. Yeah, because there's nuance to that scene as well that you're talking about.
Yes.
You're going up against Sam Jackson and Terrence Howard, literally and figuratively.
Right.
And so he's acting against them and his character is going against them. And you see he has to portray a lot of emotions there, and he does a lot with his eyes. You're absolutely right.
A lot with his eyes.
If y'all haven't seen it, go check that out. That episode too. But the interesting thing that you guys know because you've seen it is the Muhammad Ali fight and the heist afterwards is just the entry point.
Right.
That's just where we get started in the series. Then it gets really off the rails.
The music was great too, though.
The music is amazing.
Like the music was
coming from you talking about the music, I appreciate that. Yeah. And we wanted to make sure that it had that 70s feel, but with a little bit of contemporary rhythm to it as well. So, even in the underscore, you'll see. It's got obviously the 70s soul feel, but then it's got, some trap elements in there as well because, it's ATL. So
but it doesn't, the music doesn't pull you out of the time period at any point, which I love. But at the same point, you're listening, it's like multi. You're watching the acting and the music. I'm like, there's a part where they're playing Papa Was a Rolling Stone. I'm like, yo, it's the perfect place for this song. So it's just
because we were trying to make it immersive. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Immersive.
That was the point. We wanted you to get in and really feel like you were in this story and invest in it without anything pulling you out, which is challenging for a period piece, literally every last element has to be authentic and on point because people will call you out, right? Audiences today don't play that. They know,
That was whack.
Absolutely. Or inauthentic. That's not how the refrigerators looked in 1970.
They'll freeze frame it.
Absolutely. They would do that.
So speaking of the series, Frank called Atlanta Black Mecca.
Yeah.
And Chicken Man called it Black Vegas. I call it Black Hollywood. What do you call it?
All those. All three. All three. I think it definitely has earned its right to have the moniker Black Hollywood. You look at how many folks that look like me that have come here, made it home, produced projects here. I'm proud to be a part of that wave, you know what I mean? But it's definitely the Black Mecca as well, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, and Frank is Frank Moulton, played by Sam Jackson,
Yes.
because I look at it like this is a story of hustlers and dreamers and entrepreneurs. And Kevin Hart's character is all three, but so is Sam Jackson's character.
Yes.
He's this big gangster out of New York, Frank Moulton, who was an actual person. And he is running the Black Mafia, which they call themselves. But he also has a dream. He also is somebody that he's a hustler, he's a dreamer, he's an entrepreneur, and he feels underestimated. This is a story about Black people that felt underestimated in the South in the 70s at a time when Atlanta did not get respect like that. People were like, you ain't New York, you ain't Chicago, LA, you ain't Miami,
Right.
And this was an inflection point in Atlanta's history where Atlanta could have gone on to be, Birmingham or Charlotte. No disrespect those cities; those are amazing cities.
Yeah.
But obviously, Atlanta now has positioned itself in the global conversation.
Yes.
But it was because of moments like this where you had dreamers and hustlers who said Atlanta can be more.
Yeah.
Even in trying to bring this unsanctioned Ali fight to this city, they were trying to put us on the map in a different way.
The other interesting part was Don Cheadle's character, right? Who's representing law enforcement at a time. I learned a lot from him because you kind of take for granted that, like, at the time, it would be difficult to be a Black officer, and who else would you trust to protect Ali? Than the one Black officer you have, detective you have, right? So just understanding the pressure that he had in trying to please the people, do your job.
It's such a crazy dichotomy.
It's a crazy dichotomy.
He was in real life, at one time, J.D. Hudson was the only Black detective on the Atlanta police force, the only one. And he could do anything that any detective could do except arrest white people. He could not enforce the law on white people. So if there was an incident, and some of this is alluded to later in the series, where there's a Black person, white person committing a crime together, his job is to arrest the black person. He lets the white person. He does not have the authority. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah. And so he also, one thing about Don Cheadle is that he wanted to make sure that he brought a level of nuance to this character that you could invest in the character. He wouldn't just be like, the Black cop that was part of the system. Don really wanted to get into, well, why was he like this, right? And that is something that is still an issue today, right? Like, you look at Black police officers today, and they still have the challenge of, they walk outside. Black people hate them. Look at you, part of the system, working for the man. White people, especially racist white people, they hate them. People who just don't like law enforcement,
In
right?
general,
It's just like, 3 strikes, and they're trying to do their jobs. And so in our show, of course, everybody, thinks that Kevin Hart has pulled off the heist. And so all the gangsters trying to kill Kevin. J.D. Hudson, Don Cheadle's character, is trying to keep Kevin alive long enough so they can figure out who actually did it. And so he's doing his job. But he didn't have any love for the racist white people either.
No.
So he's in such an incredibly difficult situation. To me, I still think it's symbolic of where we are today. A lot of times, like, not a lot of that has changed. Especially you look at, it's always been a challenged relationship between our community and police officers.
Because it's that thing of where, like, there's the hatred there, but then there's also the need.
Of course.
And so where do you balance that within yourself and with the people that are doing their job as well?
That's correct. That's real.
Taint easy.
Yeah.
I like
Taint.
that. Taint. Taint easy.
We sound crazy.
Baby, tonight's the night I let you know. Baby, tonight's the night we lose control.
I tell you, an interesting story is that we wanted that to be, as soon as we heard that song, right? We all wanted that to be the single for the movie. And the studio at the time, as banging as that song is, said, nah, I don't know. And we was like, are you kidding me?
I've heard that before.
What?
Yeah.
And so we actually did another song that actually had Think Like a Man in the title, right? So in case y'all didn't catch it, that is the legendary John Legend song from Think Like a Man. And, we use that in the scenes with Michael Ealy and Taraji Henson. Shout out to them. But yeah, I was pushing along with some other folks to go, yo, we got this song. They brought it to us for the movie. And the studio did not want that to be the lead single. They were like, all right, we can use it, but we need a song that actually has Think Like a Man in the title. And so we did, another song that released. And but obviously John's is the one that has stood the test of time.
Yeah,
classic.
That's a classic.
Such a classic. That movie. Do you remember when I popped up on set and brought Kelly Rowland and you wrote her in?
Yeah, that's right.
hold on,
that was
hold
you.
on.
That's how.
Hold
That,
on.
yeah, that's true.
You brought K-Ro to the set, and then you just wrote her in.
My friend.
Facts.
We're going by to see my friend. Like,
Facts.
yeah.
It's true. He came by to see me.
She
He
was
had
with-
Kelly Rowland with him.
She should be in the movie.
Yep, and she is. I mean, that,
Yeah.
And that's how it's done, folks.
Yes, well, listen,
crazy.
Phil doesn't only try to kill people in Miami nightclubs.
He also
He
elevates
also
people.
elevates people. He tears you up.
Wow.
He tears you down, then lifts you up. That's what he does.
So Will, let me ask, top 5 movies of all time.
Bro, what kind of question is that?
Yeah, just top 5 movies.
Not mine necessarily, but
Yeah, of
just
yours,
today.
but just in
Today.
general. In general, today.
But of mine,
No,
or
no,
just
no.
it could include yours, but just out in
No,
general.
I wouldn't put my, I wouldn't be so arrogant as to say, I mean, I got a couple bangers, fellas, but no, I got probably a very diverse list. I would weirdly, what I'm gonna put in there? I'm not no particular order, right?
No,
Y'all
okay.
ain't gonna expect this. Ridley Scott Aliens. Remember the second Aliens?
Yes.
Remember the joint when
Yes.
Bill Paxton,
Yes.
R.I.P. Remember that one? All right.
Man, R.I.P. Bill Paxton, great
yeah.
actor.
Shawshank Redemption.
I love Shawshank
Okay.
Redemption.
Let me give you that one.
Yeah.
Original Color Purple.
Original Color Purple.
Yep, I'm gonna give you that one. And that's no disrespect to the most recent one because I thought my guy did a very good job. Godfather 2.
Yep.
And then the sci-fi nerd in me is gonna go Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go.
We're on, the
Strong
same,
five.
we're on the same page.
Really?
Yeah, I would have swapped the last one with Two Towers, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
But just
Yeah.
about, just about.
I'm with you.
identical.
I'm with
Yeah,
you. Come
yeah.
on, nerds unite. All right, yeah.
Sci-fi is
Yeah.
that's a great list.
Yeah. Okay. See?
We should play word association.
Let's
we
play
this
word
game
association.
and we call out a word and you just say what the word.
Oh, this is
whatever
where
the
I get
word.
canceled. This
No,
is
no,
it?
no.
I
This is
knew it was
exactly where
coming.
it
I
happens.
just didn't.
Yeah.
Is this
This is where we start
where
with
it goes
R. Kelly.
bad?
No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
I'll go first. Chocolate City.
Ooh, Foundation. Yeah, my first movie ever. FAMU. Yep. Shout out Rob Hardy. Shout out Florida A&M University, where it all began.
Yeah,
The
man.
Foundation.
Stomp the Yard.
F Hollywood. Because that's the movie that nobody wanted to make. Hollywood would not return my calls. They would not take me serious. And I pitched every studio. Everybody told me no. I finally got one studio because you only need one yes.
Yes,
Only one
sir.
yes.
We went back, by the way. We had gotten told no, went back and repitched, got told no all over again. But one studio said yes, and that was Screen Gems. And it wasn't even because we sold it to Stomp the Yard. We sold it as a sequel to You Got Served. Okay. And they had made You Got Served, and they were looking for a sequel. I said, well, yo, what if we did a sequel and we had one of the You Got Served guys, and they go to a different area with the different dance crews, and they bring their style of dance, and the other crews have another style of dance. They combine them for a big dance competition. They were like, yeah. And ultimately, I turned that into the other area, of course, was the Black College. The style of dance was stepping, right? And it ended up not being, one of the B2K guys, but Columbus Short. But that's the one after it came out, it dropped number one, opened number one at the box office. It was there for 2 weeks in a row. And then everybody in Hollywood started calling me and said, why you didn't bring us that movie? Why you didn't bring that over here? We could have made that. We would have made it even bigger and better, right? And I said, oh, this is how Hollywood works. You know what I'm saying? Mike Jones back then didn't want me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I'm hot all on me.
All on me. So,
All right.
yeah.
Kevin Hart.
Short and evil. That's tired of carrying him.
Taraji
Created him.
P.
Didn't
Henson.
know who he was before Will. I'm sorry. Did I go too? Did I?
Taraji P. Henson.
Unmatched. She has an ability to take tortured female characters and make them relatable to the average viewer. She takes some very complex characters and flips them in a way that you invest in them, and that's a skill set.
Yeah.
And in all seriousness, going back to Kevin Hart, I say work ethic. That's his superpower. You're not gonna outwork him. You can't. Maybe you don't Love every movie, every stand-up, every joke, every commercial. It doesn't matter. You're not going to outwork that man. In a business where work ethic is the one thing that you can control, because so much you can't, he controls that, and he goes harder than anybody I know.
Wow.
The Will Packer Amphitheater at FAMU.
At Florida A&M
Yes, sir.
University. Yes. You know what? Mission complete. That's what I say. Because when I stood in front of that amphitheater and we opened it, we dedicated it just a couple years ago now. And I had my family there. I had friends there. Kevin Hart was there. He came down, supported, and some other folks. But I stood there and looked up, and I thought about two things. I thought about my father, who has passed on, because I knew how proud he would be. And I thought also, you know what? If I don't do anything else, right? My name is on a building.
That's
My name
right.
is on
If
a
I do
building.
nothing else in life,
Yes, sir.
like, you done good.
You
pal.
done good.
Doing good.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Fight night, the $1 Million Heist.
Yeah.
What's your
Fight night.
What's,
What comes to
Oh,
mind?
I thought it felt like the wrap up. I was like, yes, Peacocks. Tune in now. You know what? I am more proud of this project, and I've got a great, filmography that I'm super proud of. It was pointed out to me that this was my 75th movie or TV project.
Jeez, 75.
I know, that's crazy.
That deserves a party.
That's crazy. Well, not in Miami with Phil, but any other place, I'm down.
No sparklers.
You know what? Or champagne.
Let's get some
Or
champagne.
champagne.
We
No,
get some
no.
champagne.
I'm so proud of this. Like, I just can't wait, because it's not what I think you necessarily think of when you think of the Will Packer canon, and it's not that I haven't done a diversity of projects, but this is super different.
Yeah.
Only my second limited series ever, and I just think it's gonna go places that people aren't ready for, and I'm excited. The most exciting part of the filmmaking and content creation process to me is the release. It's all hard, right? It's all very, very difficult. Development, production, pre-production, post, all of that. But the release, when you're right on the cusp of people being able to see it, and now it's out there, and now people can actually consume it, this is the favorite part for me, to sit back and then you hope audiences, don't feel like I wasted their time.
Nah, I've seen it. It's not a waste of time.
Not at all.
One of the
Thank you.
best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me
I
ask you.
appreciate
Let me
that.
ask you a quick question, because
Yo.
you said this is 75, right?
Yeah, man.
And I would assume that at that point, people who are on the outside looking in feel like, oh, it's easy breezy. It's like you dial it in, but you learn something new from every experience, from
No
every
question.
project.
No question.
What was your unique learning lesson from Fight Night?
Ooh, you know what? I think that it was. We had unique challenges there, because we did have a big cast, not just big in profile, but big in, like, it is a large cast.
Yeah.
And it's also period, right? So I think that in terms of managing people, making sure that you are positioning yourself, and this is advice whether you're a filmmaker or an entrepreneur or whatever you're doing, position yourself in a way so that the people that you need to deliver for you feel like you are also delivering for them, right? You can't just be somebody that's asking, what can you do for me? Come on, Sam Jackson, I need this. My director of photography, my directors, I need this. My production design, make sure. Like, I'm also got to make sure it feels like a two-way street.
Yeah.
Because people will work so much harder for you if they feel like you are also going to make them look good.
That's good.
Deliver to them what they need, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just a life lesson that I took from this. Like, I innately knew it, but I was definitely able to employ it here, because I had so many people that wanted this to work and wanted this to go well. But it's hard. It's a lot, right? It's, you got egos, you got frustrations, it's hard to shoot content like this. And the hardest part of my job on any set is always managing people. And on this one, I realized how important it was to make all my people, all my fancy folks, right, from, the top number one on the call sheet all the way down to my PA, to feel like we're in this together. No matter what. As long as we're rowing in the same direction, we may make mistakes and make it hard. Some stuff may not go the way we want. But if we're rowing in the same direction, we are a team. We can do this. That was what I tried to imbue on that set.
I love that.
Great lesson.
Yeah, man.
Great lesson.
Thank you.
Great lesson.
Yeah.
We sound crazy.
The Esther Roll
Award.
Is that Esther Roll?
Yes. You're one of the first people to get that right off the listen.
Yo. What is that though?
It's her gospel album that came out in the 70s called Garden of My Mind.
Savoy.
On Savoy, that most people don't know about.
Really?
And that's the entry point for this, I would say our most important segment, which is we've called it the Esther Roll Black Excellence Award.
Hello. Uh-oh.
And the bottom line is Black entertainers, Black business people in our industry do so much.
Yeah.
And most don't get the flowers, credit, love they deserve.
So true.
So many don't get it while they're alive, and some are still alive and still feel underappreciated. So we carved this segment out basically to highlight, we all nominate some and vote on someone who deserves an award for their amazing work.
Wow.
Who's not obvious.
Yeah.
You know, because that sometimes some people get overkill, and we want to make sure people are getting their love while they're here.
Okay.
So it's the Irby Esther Roll Black Excellence Award.
Because
most people don't know that she has a whole gospel album there that's really good.
I don't know that I knew that.
You heard it though.
But her voice is so iconic.
The Lord.
Yeah. yeah. Damn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So go ahead, Phil.
I'll kick it off. I mean, this to me is pretty simple this week. 75 films.
75.
Not necessarily films, but
Or just
projects.
projects.
TV, film. Yes,
Project, but
yes,
75
absolutely.
projects.
That's right.
He's done a lot for not only Hollywood, but just the community. He does a lot for a lot of people.
I agree.
My nomination, and I hope y'all second and thirded, is Will Packer.
Wow.
That's easy.
Wow.
That's
Thank you,
easy.
brother.
Easy.
Thank you.
Easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You deserve.
Wow.
You deserve.
Wow.
This is what this show is about, celebrating people of all walks of life, whether it's film, TV, music, etc. But Will, salute, brother.
Yo.
Yeah. Multi-hyphenated. You're teaching us and educating at the same time.
Yeah, man.
And entertaining. It's all happening. That's goals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I got the Irby.
You got the
I
Irby.
win the Irby.
We'll send it to your office.
Hey guys, is there an actual award? Because I don't.
There
I
is an
see
actual-
water bottles here. What is
There's
the
an actual
You-
award.
no, it comes
I
in
want
mail.
something.
We actually send it to your office. Like the real award show, we ship it
Giselle,
to
I'm
you.
leaving with something. What we got here? What do we have?
got a
that can
chicken
stand
salad.
that? I don't want that. They gave me the We Sound Crazy
Spring
branded water
spring
bottles.
water.
You know what? I like to thank my God on Most High. First of all, you know,
Yes, sir.
I like to thank Phil, right, and Uncle Jeff for that one night in Miami. I
That
like to
one
thank
night.
that bouncer that lived that carried me out of the club. You know, I like to thank Shayla Cowan, right?
Shayla Cowan.
Shayla Cowan,
Shayla
shout out.
building.
Yes. She doesn't remember that night. She was there with the champagne. Oh, she had 7 bottles too.
She stopped drinking
She
for
doesn't.
a year.
She, literally 12 months. She didn't drink.
I'm sorry, Shayla. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no.
Shayla.
Well,
I'm sorry.
You
I
know what?
promise.
Listen, she's still recovering.
We're all still recovering, clearly.
Yes,
But
but
we-
anyway, I accept this award.
Yeah, no,
I appreciate that.
We appreciate
It
you.
means a lot coming from y'all.
And honestly, thank you, because I know there's a lot going on with press and promo for this, as it should. But you carved out a little time to come sit with us.
Yeah.
And that means a lot.
Real talk, it was Phil. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Nah.
I'm not gonna lie
not
to
us.
you. Nah,
It's Phil.
it's nothing against you two brothers.
He's like-
I don't know that I heard the second and the third for the award just for the record. So I don't know if it's official yet, but whatever. We don't have to dwell on that. Whatever. But no, you know, if Phil calls, he knows I got him.
Appreciate
We
it.
all we got. We
Yeah.
all we
We
need.
all we
you know
got.
what I'm
That's all we
saying?
need.
So yeah.
Fight Night, The $1 Million Heist is streaming right now on Peacock. The first 3 episodes are out today.
Damn.
You better watch it.
Come on now.
So good.
It's amazing.
Thanks, family.
5 stars.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Follow us on all platforms at We Sound Crazy and WeSoundCrazy.com.
And shout out to our partners at Visit Music City. Thank you so much for holding us down.
What I've learned from you here today, especially your comments on Kevin Hart. I said Kevin like I know him. I was like, Kevin, Mr. Hart.
Chicken Man.
Chicken Man.
Yes.
Is that you can still keep getting better. If you're saying this is his best performance, that says a lot about iron sharpening iron, the company you keep.
Facts.
That's something that I think everyone watching should take, because it's easy to get comfortable in this business
Facts.
at every level.
Yes.
And when you're surrounded by greatness, it makes you greater.
Yes.
And this entire cast is just going above and beyond.
Yes.
So in the spirit of this being a podcast about music as well, the music is fantastic, but we end our episode with allowing our guests to choose the song that takes us out. And it could be anything that you feel like just encompasses this conversation.
Really?
Yeah.
And you got it all over there? You gonna
Yeah.
play it right
We're gonna
now?
play it.
Play right now.
Y'all sure?
Yeah.
I feel like it should be important and it should have some weight and some gravitas for the level of, intelligence that we are discussing and the art that I've tried to put forward with Fight Night.
Yes, sir.
So Phil, go ahead and hit that Uncle Luke Scar one time so that people know where I'm from. Because I'm Florida all day, FAMU.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we gonna be three,
If we're gonna be
Captain
serious,
D ain't coming, then you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, the funny thing is, this is why I know you're my brother. I was going to open the show with that.
shut up. Are you serious?
He sure was.
Until next week. Thank you, Will Back, our special guest.
Turn up, y'all. Thank you.
We out of here. We sound crazy, y'all.
Peace.
Coming, drop it 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 coming.
We sound crazy.